She had less than 24 hours to live, and she didn't know what this dying woman did when she found $50 million lying open when she thought no one was watching will haunt you. Forever. This is the story of the last test that changed everything, and the secret that will break your heart. Her name was Elena Vasquez, 34 years old, once a pediatric nurse, who saved children's lives. Now she cleaned the marble floors of billionaire Marcus Blackwood's estate, her own life slipping away with each labored breath. Cancer had been growing silently for months. Stage 4 pancreatic. The doctors gave her weeks, maybe days, but Elena hadn't told anyone, not her teenage daughter Sophia, not her elderly mother who depended on her, and certainly not her employers. Couldn't afford to lose this job, this house. This paycheck was all that stood between her family and homelessness, so every morning she swallowed the pain, painted on a smile, and pretended she wasn't dying. Marcus Blackwood was a different kind of broken. At 41, he was worth $12 billion, but trust was a luxury he couldn't afford. His wife had left him for his business partner, taking half his fortune, and his heart. His own brother had embezzled millions. His closest friend had sold his secrets to competitors. Every person who claimed to love him had eventually shown their true face. Greed. So Marcus watched everyone tested, everyone trusted no one. His mansion wasn't a home, it was a fortress, and Elena, she was just another employee who would eventually disappoint him, or so he thought. His day, November 15th. Elena's hands shook more than usual as she unlocked the service entrance. The pain in her abdomen was getting worse, but she had 18 hours of work ahead of her. She didn't know she barely had 18 hours left. Marcus had made a decision that would change both their lives forever. In his private study, had left his personal vault wide open, $50 million in bearer bonds, rare diamonds worth fortunes, and gold bars stacked like books. It wasn't carelessness, it was the ultimate test. Hidden cameras recorded every angle, motion sensors tracked every movement. This was his final experiment in human nature. Had tested 12 employees this way over the years, housekeepers, gardeners, personal assistants. Every single one had failed. Every single one had taken something, even just a small diamond, thinking it wouldn't be missed. But Elena was different. As she entered the study that morning, dusting cloth in her trembling hand, she stopped cold. Her breath caught. Her knees nearly buckled. $50 million. More money than she could comprehend, enough to pay for the experimental treatment that could save her life, enough to secure her daughter's college education, enough to ensure her mother would never want for anything. Elena stood there for 3 minutes and 17 seconds. The cameras caught every emotion that crossed her face: desperation, hope, temptation, and then something else entirely. She reached into her apron pocket and pulled out a crumpled envelope. Her latest medical bills, treatments she couldn't afford, medications she was rationing, procedures she was refusing because of the cost. Irony was crushing. The money in that vault could literally save her life, and she was the only person who would ever know it was there. But then Elena did something that would haunt Marcus Blackwood for the rest of his life. She walked to the vault and began to gently dust around. Other movements were reverent, careful. She treated that open vault like a shrine she was not worthy to disturb. And then, as she finished cleaning, she did something extraordinary. A picture of her daughter Sophia at 8 years old, gap-toothed smile, holding a homemade card that read, "World's best mama, Elena's last birthday. When she was healthy, when life was still beautiful, when tomorrow was guaranteed." She placed the photo on the edge of the vault just for a moment. A mother's love touching a fortune shed never claimed. She whispered words that Marcus's hidden microphones barely caught. "Mia, Mama will find another way. We don't take what isn't ours, no matter how much we need." If and she kissed the photo, returned it to her pocket, closed the vault, locked it, and continued cleaning as if shed seen nothing. At Marcus Blackwood sat frozen. In 12 years of testing, no one had walked away from that much money, but Elena hadn't just walked away. Shed protected it, honored it, treated his test like it was sacred. That night, Marcus couldn't sleep. He ran background checks, hired investigators, dug into Elena's life. What he found shattered every wall had built around his heart. Elena Vasquez, former pediatric IQ nurse, left her career when her husband died in a work accident, leaving her with a 6-year-old daughter and no life insurance. Worked 3 jobs to keep them afloat, never missed a parent-teacher conference, never let her daughter go without never complained. And the medical records broke his heart. Completed terminal cancer, weeks to live, treatments She couldn't afford a daughter who didn't know her mother was dying because Elena was protecting her from that pain toothus. This dying woman had walked away from the money that could save her life because her integrity mattered more than her survival. Next morning, Marcus made a decision that terrified him. For the first time in over a decade, he was going to trust someone. He was going to save the woman who had saved his faith in humanity. Marcus called the best oncologist in the country, Dr. Sarah Chun at Memorial Sloan Kettering. Money is no object. He said, I need you to save someone's life, but how? Do you help someone too proud to accept help? How do you save someone who won't let themselves be saved? Answer came the next morning. Elena didn't show up for work. Marcus found her collapsed in her apartment hallway. Her daughter Sophia, now 16, was trying to wake her up, tears streaming down her face. Mama, please, Mama, don't leave. Meth ambulance arrived within minutes. Marcus rode with them, holding Elena's hand as Sophia sobbed beside him. Who are you? The girl asked. Why do you care about my Mama? Marcus looked at this brave teenager who was about to lose everything and said the words that would change their lives. Because your mama taught me what goodness looks like, and I'm going to make sure she lives to see you graduate. Dr. Chun worked miracles, experimental treatments, cutting-edge procedures, round-the-clock care. Marcus paid for everything, private rooms, the best nurses, treatments not even approved in the US yet. But the real healing began when Elena woke up. She found Marcus asleep in the chair beside her bed, still holding her hand. Sophia was curled up on the couch, finally peaceful after days of terror. Elena's first words were typical of her character. Mr. Blackwood, you shouldn't be here. I can't pay you back for this. Marcus looked at this woman who had walked away from $50 million to preserve her integrity and said, Elena, you already paid me back. You gave me something worth more than all my money. You gave me back my faith in people's treatments worked. Slowly, gradually, Elena got stronger, but more than her body was healing. 3 broken souls, Marcus, Elena, and Sophia, were becoming something neither of them expected, a family. A year later, they returned to the room where it all began. The vault sat in the corner, now permanently locked. It was no longer needed. Elena had refused Marcus's offers of millions. She accepted only what she needed: Sophia's education, medical bills, a modest house. She insisted on working on earning her place, on maintaining her dignity. Instead, she became his partner in something greater, the Vasquez Blackwood Foundation, helping families facing medical crises. Elena's experience guided every decision. Her heart shaped every policy, but the most beautiful transformation was in Marcus himself. The man who once trusted no one had learned the difference between testing people and believing in them. Sophia's 18th birthday, Marcus did something that surprised everyone, including himself. In that same study in front of that same vault, he asked Elena a question that completed their journey. Elena Vasquez, you walked away from $50 million because your integrity was worth more. Will you walk toward a future where you never have to choose between survival and honor again? Will you marry me? Elena said, yes, not to his money, not to his status, but to the man who learned that the greatest treasures in life can't be locked in vaults. Their wedding wasn't a fairy tale ending, it was a beginning built on a truth that changed everything. Real wealth isn't what you can take, it's what you choose to give. Elena lived. Sophia graduated valedictorian and became a doctor, inspired by the people who saved her mother. Marcus learned that the heart he thought was broken had only been waiting for the right person to help it heal. And somewhere in the world tonight, there's someone facing an impossible choice, someone choosing between what they need and what they know is right. This story is for them. This story is proof that integrity isn't just about what you do when people are watching. It's about who you choose to be when you think you're alone. What would you do? What does your heart choose when everything is on the line? Share your story below. Share your heart, because in a world that sometimes feels broken, stories like Elena's remind us that goodness still exists, love still wins, and sometimes the greatest test isn't what we take, it's what we're willing to give. If this story moved you, if it reminded you that honor still matters, share it with someone who needs to remember that miracles happen to people who never stop choosing kindness. Subscribe for more stories that prove love always finds a way. True wealth is measured by what you give, not what you take.